Thanks for tuning in to the Mission Matters podcast, where we feature successful, mission-driven leaders committed to creating a positive change in the world. Our mission with this channel is to inspire other leaders by providing industry insights, new ideas, and inspiring stories from the pros.
All right. Well, hello and welcome. My name is Paul Fyth, host of this show where I talk with leaders heading up mission-focused organizations, leading from the heart, inspiring others, and making a difference in our communities. This episode is sponsored by none other than Gregory Media, affectionately known as PGM, a certified B Corporation. To find out more about PGM or what a B Corporation is, visit paulgregorymedia.com. I got to have a bell or something every time I plug that. Well, hey, Taylor, welcome to the show. I'd love to just give a quick intro about you. Taylor is the community program manager of Giving DuPage, joining the organization really recently here in September of 2024. And Taylor has both government and nonprofit work experience, including her previous role at the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I think it's the Illinois chapter, right?
Yes.
All right. And before that, you were with a few park districts I saw on your LinkedIn profile, including Glen Ellen, Oak Brook Terrace, Arlington Heights, and I think Rodell, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
I can't wait to dive in because you just started with Giving DuPage, and I've been involved with that organization for a little bit. I'd love to learn about your journey and maybe what led you to Giving DuPage in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thanks for having me. Excited to talk about Giving DuPage and excited about the mission. My journey is unique and one that I have seen a lot in my short career time. But I started when I was 15. I am not a sit-still person at all. And so my mom had said, she's like, you need to go do something and get out of the house. And so I started volunteering at the Roselle Park District, doing some admin work, just keeping myself busy after school. And then quickly started working there part-time all the way through high school, through college. And then when I graduated is when I started my internship at Arlington Heights Park District. Got my bachelor's degree in recreation, parks, tourism administration with an event planning and management minor. That's a mouthful.
Wow.
Yep. And then interned at Arlington Heights Park District. And then first full-time job was over at Oak Brook Terrace Park District, where we did a lot of rebuilding with them, brought back programming and camps, and had a great team, had great leaders there, and was able to get my master's in business administration. So was able to accomplish that while I was in my first full-time job, which kept me busy. And then quickly went over to Glen Ellen Park District and oversaw similar programs, just much larger scale. And then COVID hit and was still working there, but quickly learned that I wanted to do something a little bit more for the community and something that would allow me to give back, give my time and the expertise that I had. And so I started volunteering at Make-A-Wish in October during COVID. And then when a position opened up in March the following year, I was able to join the team and start working there, which was a dream because I think Make-A-Wish is just an organization that is magical and is definitely a special one to be a part of. And so I was a wish coordinator there and worked on the local team. So I planned all wishes that happened within the state of Illinois. So swimming pools, hot tubs, animal wishes, construction, all of that fun stuff. And enjoyed that, became a senior coordinator, and then led me back to my community of DuPage County, where I was born and raised. And so I was excited for the opportunity to come back to my roots and focus on DuPage County and volunteering and nonprofits and really supporting the thousands of nonprofits that are here in any way that we can, and excited for the future of Giving DuPage.
It's kind of like full circle almost the way you told that story.
Yes.
I'm interested, and maybe I missed it. I guess you were interested at one point in getting your master's in business administration. What was the thought process there?
Yeah. So I when I was going through school, I was like, I'm going to be a businesswoman. I'm going to go, go big. And so I went to go get my business degree just to really understand the other side of the recreational world, what goes into it, and the accounting and the finances and the strategic planning and management. And so I was able to utilize my time to go and get that degree to see, but my heart is truly in the nonprofit community space. And so I'm glad to be back here and not go that business route.
Not because of business. Well, I mean, there's something to be said about there's a lot of business in nonprofit.
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, it's all business. It's just a tax status, really.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, we both know it's a little bit more than that, but that's certainly from an operational standpoint. I got to go back to Make-A-Wish Foundation. What was that like working there?
It is amazing. The organization as a whole is truly welcomes everybody with open arms. They have a handful of employees, thousands of volunteers. They cover the whole state of Illinois. And so we relied heavily on the volunteer support to connect with the families, to connect with our donors, to connect with different organizations to support, but truly connecting with the families and hearing their stories and hearing how a wish can truly change the kiddo's journey is magical. It's heartwarming. It can be challenging, but all around it just brings so much light to these kiddos that are battling life-threatening illnesses. So,
wow. I mean, that had to be fulfilling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I hands down would recommend everybody to check out that organization, find a way to volunteer. You can volunteer right in your community. So our DuPage County residents, you can support DuPage County families by volunteering with them.
Wow. That is awesome. Well, you're a seasoned nonprofit professional, but you're new to Giving DuPage. So it's always good to get a fresh set of eyes on an organization. And I'm curious as to what, in your opinion, are some of the challenges you see with Giving DuPage.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge that we're looking at right now is getting the word out there to all of DuPage County. I had not heard of Giving DuPage prior to finding this position. And to me, I was like, okay, that's step one, is how do we get this word out to everybody to share this platform that we have that has, over 400 volunteers or over 400 organizations that are ready for volunteers to support. And then how do we get these organizations to be aware of Giving DuPage and what we have to offer and how we can support them and help them grow, I think is super important. So that is the challenge that we're looking at now. We're ready to tackle it. We're ready to continue to get the word out and share it even more than was done before.
Okay, so I have to back up just a minute because we should probably let everybody know what Giving DuPage is. What do they do?
Yeah, absolutely. So Giving DuPage is the volunteer center that is within DuPage County. And so our biggest focus is providing a volunteer portal that is accessible to anybody that's looking to volunteer. It supports nonprofits that serve DuPage County. And so we have our volunteer portal that, like I said, anybody's able to go on and look for different volunteer opportunities and register directly through us. And then you can show up to your volunteer time and the organization is excited to have you. We also have a handful of events that we'll do, like Giving DuPage Days, that's typically in the spring. And so we're excited for that coming up here in 2025. And then we look at some other opportunities to connect the nonprofits, within DuPage County.
So there's a little bit to unpack, I guess, there. So let's just dive into a couple of these.
Yeah.
So you say that Giving DuPage is the volunteer center for DuPage County. So it's a county-wide initiative and it sounds like when you mentioned the portal, it's really to connect people who want to volunteer to agencies, nonprofit organizations that are looking for volunteers. Is that a fair?
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest thing is, you hear people that are ready and excited to volunteer and they just don't know where to go. And so that's our job, is to help connect them to the nonprofits that need volunteer support.
It almost sounds like if you're interested in volunteering, Giving DuPage should be your first stop.
Yeah,
because that's
absolutely.
where it's like a clearinghouse of where all the opportunities are.
Yeah,
And
and you're able to go onto the website and you can filter through if you have a specific interest or if you have a specific skill set is huge. I know we have nonprofits that need specific skills that can be utilized, and so you can filter through that. You can filter through distance if you're looking for a nonprofit that's close to your house. And all the nonprofits have profiles, so you can look in there as well to see, what kind of fits with your needs and what you're looking to do.
yeah, what I loved about it is that there's a section just for skills-based
Yeah.
volunteering. So you don't necessarily have to drive to a location if you want to. And this, I think, became really popular during the pandemic, right? If you wanted to contribute and volunteer right from your home, there are opportunities to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And a great example. I was over at Habitat for Humanities yesterday and talking about they're really looking for some skilled construction based work, and so we're helping them get that out there so they can find that. So if you have a skill and you want to help out a nonprofit in your area, that's a great place to start.
Yeah, that particular skill, you probably have to be at the location, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, that one you'll have to go visit, but I know there's some other ones that are uh, virtual.
Sure. So you mentioned, as you know, one of the challenges you see with Giving DuPage is awareness, letting all the residents of the county know that it exists. There's this clearinghouse of all these volunteer opportunities from all these different nonprofits. And of course, you mentioned the nonprofit organizations themselves to get their volunteer opportunities on the thing. How does that translate into the priorities that you see going forward? I'm sure you're seeing a lot of different things that are on the plate, but you have to prioritize those and juggle those. And so with the challenges, how do you see that translating into what your priorities are for the next year or two?
Yeah. First priority is to get our volunteer portal cleaned up and ready for all of our community members, so that when people go on there, they're seeing truly the up-to-date and most active volunteer opportunities, and allowing us to connect with the nonprofits to make sure that their accounts are also up to date with the contact information and their website and social media. And so once we have that up to date, and we're about halfway done with that, which is great to see that traction in just 2 months. And so, we're going to continue to get that updated so everybody can feel ready to go on there and find what they're looking for. And then while we're doing that, we're getting the word out. So we're going to be upping our social media presence and getting active with everybody and engaged in the community via social media. And so if you see us, like and tag and connect with us, we're happy to connect back with everybody to share their opportunities on there as well. And then continue to up our Giving DuPage Days and future events that we can host to appreciate everybody that supports and volunteers and all the nonprofits.
Well, you've just given me a great segue. We're talking about Giving DuPage Days,
Yeah,
because in addition to promoting volunteerism and helping volunteers find organizations that are nonprofits, you also are helping the nonprofits, on the other side of the coin. And some people will call it capacity building. It's a language that's tossed around a lot in the nonprofit world. But many of these organizations either don't have the ability to do a fundraiser on their own, or they need extra help. So let's talk about Giving DuPage Days. What is it? Why is it important?
yeah. Giving DuPage Days, like I said, is an event that we run in the spring. And the best part of it, as I'm learning more and more about it every day, is that we all get to fundraise together in this event. It is focused on fundraising for our nonprofits. And so nonprofits get to register. We all fundraise together throughout the event. And the focus is to raise money for them. We help get the word out. We share it on social media. And it's really the community coming together to support each other. And I think that's one of the best things with, you see a lot of nonprofits and they have their fundraisers, and this one's just unique in the space that we get to do it together, and we get to support them as Giving DuPage, and they all get to support each other as well. And we raise money, and hopefully, this coming year will be some record-breaking numbers.
That is exciting to hear. Trying to think of my next question here. I mean, I want to dive into Giving DuPage just a little bit more, but also, and I think I lost it. That's why I'm pausing here for a minute. But It probably is unfair to ask you now what you love about this job because I think you need a little bit more time to come up with that. But maybe ask you what has been your favorite part about this job
That
in
is
your
such
short
a
term?
great question. Yeah, no, I think my favorite part so far is really getting to meet and learn about the different nonprofits within DuPage County. Like I said, there are more than I can count on my hands and feet. So, being able to like get out there, learn about their missions, see how we can support has been the best part so far. And I love to continue to do that and get to know everybody. And I really think the part that I'm looking forward to the most is where Giving DuPage can go and how we can continue to support all of the nonprofits and DuPage County as a whole. And that's what makes me excited to continue this work, to continue to work hard, and again, connect with everybody to just kind of share what we do and how we can support them.
Wow. Not only do I love the way you said that and couch that, but I also love the fact that you said um, you love connecting with nonprofit organizations. And by that, you mean the people that are running those organizations. And I couldn't agree more. In my field, of course, I interview a lot of them and I work with a lot of them. And I've never met one
Yeah,
that is not juggling 40 balls in the air and needs help, needs assistance, will never turn it down. And they're just lovely people to
yeah,
doing their part to make the community a better place.
yeah, absolutely. And when I'm out there, I tell people to, invite me out when you have volunteers there. I went to go visit a nonprofit and it was a volunteer open house over at Phil's Friends. And I was able to sit there and color cards with their volunteers and really learn about what it's like to volunteer there, what they enjoy. And so when people come to us, and so when people call DuPage County looking to volunteer and they get directed to us, I'm able to share a little bit more, even in depth, about their organization and how their volunteer can be an impact. And so I think it's really important, to be out there and connect with people, but also see really what our volunteers are doing day in and day out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Any interesting stats? I mean, I know it's only been a few months, but you've got to have a stat or two up your sleeve that you could share with us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when looking at, Giving DuPage and the work that we do, in this last couple of months, we've had, even last month, we had over 10,500, views alone just looking at the volunteer opportunities. So that's people clicking on them, reading them, and that's huge for, the amount of opportunities that we have. And then on the other side of that, we have over 500 people on there looking at the different agencies. And so we have over 400 agencies. And so people are looking at them, all throughout the month. So even just learning about the agency, even if they connect with them directly, for us, that's a huge, huge win to connect them
Wow.
either through our portal or, getting them over to their website as well.
Yeah. So 400 nonprofit organizations with God knows how many opportunities in each organization. Then you have hundreds of people looking at these different agencies, and you have thousands. You said mentioned 10,000 views at these opportunities. So what I'm hearing is, I wanted to volunteer somewhere, get on there now
Yeah.
because it could be going away.
Yeah, absolutely. And, opportunities are going up daily, especially depending on the time of the year as we're entering holiday season. Giving and volunteering opportunities are huge and popular. So get on there and get the spots while they're open.
Awesome. Yes, indeed. Taylor, where can people find Giving DuPage, the portal, and information about Giving DuPage Days?
Yeah, absolutely. So all of our information is at givingdupage.org. That will lead you to Giving DuPage Days, our events, and our portal. But if you want to get directly to our portal, you can go to givingdupage.org/volunteer. And that'll take you directly to our portal where you can create an account, see the volunteer opportunities, see the different organizations, and check it out.
Yeah. And do you have to create an account in order to see the opportunities, or can you see them before that?
Yeah, you can check out all the opportunities and the agencies before you create an account. So check
That's
it out.
awesome. Any parting words for our listeners out there?
Yeah. We are just excited to, continue to be the hub for our volunteers and encourage people to at least check it out, see what's out there, and find an organization that matches, your goals as well.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you joining us on the show. I love that you're a consummate nonprofit professional, and it is my pleasure to promote Giving DuPage, and let's find some ways to get some awareness out there for this organization.
Yeah, absolutely. And my contact is on there as well. So if people have questions or want to reach out and learn more, please don't hesitate to reach out to me.
Awesome. Thanks again for being on the show. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Mission Matters podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.